If you can't sit still in silence for 5 minutes without reaching for your phone or running your mouth to complain, you're not strong enough to lead anything, not even yourself. A real man doesn't need to shout to prove his strength. The loudest man in the room is usually the most insecure. It's the quiet one, the one who watches, waits, and strikes at the right moment, who holds the true balance of power. A lion doesn't need to roar to scare its prey. It just needs to stand there. This world isn't run by those who talk the most. It's run by those who know when not to speak. You want respect? You want to be heard? You want to lead? Then start by learning to shut your mouth. Because in a world drowning in noise, silence is the one thing that makes you impossible to ignore. Keep watching. This is the beginning of a new version of you. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. From Sun Tzu to Machiavelli, the greatest strategists in history revealed an ancient truth. Real control belongs to those who operate from the shadows in complete silence. It's an art so refined that even today, true masters of influence don't use it instinctively. They use it with surgical precision. There's a science behind the weaponization of silence. Have you ever stopped to consider that silence, often mistaken as the absence of something, is actually one of the greatest sources of strength? In a world that bombards us with noise and distraction, silence stands out like an oasis of reflection and strategy. There's a reason why thinkers like Sun Tzu and Machiavelli emphasize the importance of knowing when to speak, and more importantly, when not to. Real power doesn't come from broadcasting your goals to the world. It comes from staying hidden, watching, and planning carefully. Think about the times you shared an idea before it was ready. How often did that weaken its impact, or worse, allow someone else to act on it before you did? Silence, in this context, isn't passive. It's a deliberate, powerful choice. It's like a lion crouching in the tall grass. Its presence concealed, its energy coiled, waiting for the precise moment to strike. It studies, it calculates, and when you least expect it, it attacks with precision and dominance. Those who talk too much tend to overexpose themselves. They reveal their plans, their weaknesses, and invite scrutiny. Noise, more often than not, is a symptom of insecurity, a desperate attempt to fill a void with words. Silence, by contrast, is the expression of inner strength, of confidence in one's own power and direction. The true master is the one who knows what to say and what not to. But don't confuse this. Silence isn't just the absence of speech. It's the refusal to react impulsively. It's the ability to control your emotions, to remain calm in chaos, and to assess the battlefield without being swept away by it. The power of restraint lies in your ability to resist pressure, to remain unfazed by emotion, and in doing so, to act with strategy and clarity, even in the face of adversity. So how can you apply this wisdom in your daily life? Start by carving out just a few moments for silence. It doesn't have to be anything long. Just a few minutes away from the constant noise, take a deep breath, and listen to your inner voice. What would happen if you dedicated just 15 minutes a day to this practice? Try it for a week. Watch how your mental clarity sharpens, how your decision-making improves. And when you find yourself in moments of tension or conflict, try to observe more and speak less. Remember the lion on the plains. Before you react, breathe, assess your options, understand the power silence can offer you. When used wisely, silence becomes both a shield and a sword, a way to protect yourself, and a means to strike precisely when the moment is right. As an old Chinese proverb goes, "He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know." This is a lifelong journey of sharpening perception, mastering the strength of calm and control, and applying that wisdom to every part of your life. Silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of an immeasurable force, a strategy that allows you to watch, understand, and act at the exact moment, like a master in command of his own life. Now let's reflect on the power of observation. It's not just about looking, it's about truly sensing, absorbing every detail, and seeing what lies beneath the surface. A patient observer holds a far greater advantage than what immediate perception could ever offer. Imagine a detective arriving at a crime scene. They don't get swept up in the chaos. They examine every hair, every footprint. They don't move on instinct. They collect clues, analyze patterns, and search for truth buried beneath disorder. Becoming a patient observer is like walking into a vast library of knowledge and having the time to read every book, understand the subtlety of every story. It gives you insight into how situations truly function, the ability to spot both the opportunity and the danger that others overlook. The psychology behind observation runs deep. It teaches you to break out of autopilot, to question your own perceptions, and to seek a fuller understanding of the world around you. It's the ability to step outside your own narrative and step into the story of others, of circumstances. A skilled observer learns how to read people, not just through their words, but through facial expressions, body language, and vocal tone. They pick up on what's being said and what's being left unsaid. From there, they begin to understand motives and intentions. So how can this become a powerful tool? The power of information is limitless. Observers accumulate knowledge, and knowledge is power. By understanding the strengths and weaknesses of others and of yourself, by identifying behavioral patterns and the rhythm of situations, you position yourself as a more conscious player in the game of life. Being a patient observer doesn't mean standing still. It means preparing to act with precision. Like an archer taking aim, they study the target, gauge the wind, adjust their stance, and only then release with maximum accuracy. It's not about impulsive action. It's about action driven by total awareness and clarity. So how can you cultivate the ability to become a patient observer? Start by practicing mindfulness in your daily life. Instead of operating on autopilot, bring your full attention to each moment. Observe details. Feel the nuances. When talking with someone, don't let your phone or drifting thoughts distract you. Truly listen. Watch their expressions. Hear the tone behind their words. For example, on any given day, try observing people during your commute. Notice their behaviors, their energy. You'll learn more about human nature than you ever expected. At the same time, dedicate time to reflect on your own behaviors and emotions. How do you feel in different situations? What triggers a strong response in you? What patterns show up in your reactions? By observing yourself, you begin to understand yourself on a deeper level, identifying your strengths and weaknesses, learning how to navigate life with greater effectiveness. As the Greek philosopher Epictetus once said, people are not disturbed by events, but by their perception of those events. The patient observer knows that perception is the key to a fuller life, and by cultivating this ability, they become the master of their fate, turning chaos into order, adversity into opportunity. This is the path to self-knowledge. It allows you to move through the world with clarity, wisdom, and a calm power that comes only from deep, deliberate observation. If this video made you think, hit like now. Comment below. How have you applied Stoicism in your life? Stoic success, unbreakable mindset, total control. Let's now decode the mechanism that turns silence and observation into control. It's a subtle, often invisible process, but one with undeniable power, much like a chess grandmaster quietly commanding the board through strategy alone. The silent observer operates the same way, using action and sometimes deliberate inaction to steer situations in their favor. Think about how persuasive silence can be. When someone pressures you for a decision and you don't respond immediately, you gain time to analyze, to weigh your options, and to stay grounded instead of reacting under pressure. In that moment, silence becomes a form of resistance, a statement that you alone control how and when you respond. But that's just the beginning. Silence creates mystery. It creates anticipation. Others begin to wonder, what's he thinking? What's he planning? That lack of information triggers their imagination, and in doing so, they begin to assign power and control to you. Like a magician who builds suspense by withholding the secret, the observer uses absence to invite curiosity, and with it, influence. Invisible manipulation may sound sinister, but in reality, it's a skill, a tool that can be used for good or bad. It's the ability to shape outcomes without others realizing they're being shaped, through action or inaction. Like a quiet garden being cared for, each plant pruned, each handful of soil added at the right moment, while the outside world has no idea that something is slowly transforming. The power of waiting is another key mechanism in the art of control. The one who knows how to wait also knows exactly when to act. Like a fisherman who casts his net and waits patiently for the right moment to pull it in, he knows that patience brings the greatest reward. The impatient miss opportunities, rush into mistakes, but the one who waits strikes with precision and power. So how do you apply this to your daily life? First, learn to control impulsive reactions. Before responding to provocation, take a deep breath, observe the situation, and ask yourself, is this the right time to act? Don't let anger or frustration take over. Move with calm. Move with intent. Try practicing patience in everyday situations, while waiting in line, in traffic, or in meetings. Instead of getting irritated, use that time to observe your surroundings, to reflect on your own emotions. Also, learn to use silence as a form of communication. In a negotiation or argument, don't rush to speak. Listen closely. Ask questions. Watch their reactions. Let silence do its work. In this context, silence is like a conductor guiding the rhythm of a conversation, creating pauses that give more weight to every word you choose to speak. Speech is silver, silence is gold. This old saying carries a deep truth. The mechanism of control lies in observation, action, patience, and the skilled use of silence. Not to dominate, but to understand both the world and yourself. This is the dance between action and stillness, between words and silence, turning every moment of life into an opportunity to create a more deliberate and meaningful existence. It's how you master your impulses and how you align yourself with the deeper rhythm of life. Maintaining control over your behaviors and responses on the grand chessboard of your existence. Now let's explore one of the most powerful and paradoxical strategies of all, the strategy of emptiness. It may sound counterintuitive, but the art of creating space through intentional absence is a refined technique that has been used by great strategists and leaders throughout history. Think about the moments when someone's absence, or the absence of a specific element, has a deeper impact than its presence. Like a blank canvas, where the lack of color creates infinite possibilities and expectations. Control through absence lies in the ability to not show up, to withhold participation, to create distance. It's the ability to carve out a void that draws curiosity and attention. In this context, emptiness isn't lack, it's opportunity. It's the ability to remain on the edge, untouched by the trivial noise of daily life, while observing the world from a wider, more powerful perspective. The strength of inaction is another essential element in the strategy of emptiness. It doesn't mean passivity, it means intentional restraint. It's the discipline not to react impulsively, not to get dragged into emotional chaos. Like a river flowing around obstacles, it doesn't resist directly, yet it always finds its way forward. It acts by not resisting. The power of mystery is a method of using emptiness to awaken imagination and curiosity. The less you reveal about yourself, your plans, your intentions, the more people wonder. And that curiosity makes you more compelling. Like a sealed box, the lack of information draws people in. The mystery becomes the center of their attention. So how do you apply the strategy of emptiness in real life? Start by creating moments of silence in your conversations and interactions. Instead of filling every second with words, let silence speak. Allow space for others to process, to reflect, to sit with what's been said. In meetings, where people often talk just to fill air, try saying less and observing more. Watch how your silence alters the room, how it makes others pay closer attention. Beyond that, practice stepping away from situations that bring no value. You don't need to show up for every argument or event. Be selective about where you invest your time and energy. In many cases, your absence will have a greater impact than your presence. Out of sight, out of mind carries a deeper truth. Try, for example, logging off social media for a few hours or an entire day. Watch how it frees up your time for things that actually matter, and how that absence pulls you away from the addiction to constant connection. The strategy of emptiness invites you to step away from the frantic pace of life, to retreat from the world's noise and reconnect with your inner core. It's a call to cultivate silence, observation, and mystery, to turn absence into a source of power, clarity, and deep self-knowledge. It's the dance between presence and absence, between sound and silence, one that helps you master the subtle layers of life and unlock a new form of power, refined and effective. In the end, you realize sometimes not acting has a greater impact than any action ever could. Mastering silence, the art of observation, the power of restraint, and the strategy of emptiness. These are what elevate us to a level of control far beyond surface appearances. It's not about imposing authority, but about radiating power through wisdom, through self-knowledge, and through alignment with the rhythm of life. To master silence isn't just knowing when to keep quiet, it's knowing when to speak and how to use words as precise instruments of influence. It's the ability to create strategic pauses, letting silence do its work, and using language with clarity and intention. Like a conductor guiding a symphony, you control rhythm and tone, bringing every instrument into perfect harmony. The art of observation lies in the ability to sense the subtle, to read between the lines. It's the capacity to read people, understand motives, predict their next moves. Like a strategist mapping a battlefield, it's about analyzing strengths and weaknesses and planning each move with precision. The power of restraint reveals itself in emotional control, not being swept away by impulse, maintaining composure in chaos. It's thinking clearly under pressure and acting with reason. Like a martial arts master, measured in every motion, dodging at the right time, striking only when the moment is right. So how do you develop mastery over control? Start with self-awareness. Observe your thoughts, your emotions, your behavior. Ask yourself, why did I react that way? What triggered this response? How can I improve? Understanding yourself is the foundation of all control. For example, start journaling. Record your insights, patterns, strengths, and blind spots. This process will help you identify behavior loops and allow you to make conscious adjustments. Next, practice conscious breathing. When anxiety, anger, or frustration hits, stop. Take a few deep breaths, feel your breath, and bring your focus back to the present. Your breath is a powerful anchor that connects you to your center and helps regulate your emotional state. Try it the next time you're under pressure. Just a few deep breaths and see how it changes your ability to stay grounded. And finally, learn to forgive yourself. Every one of us makes mistakes. The key is to accept them, learn from them, and move forward with greater wisdom and compassion. Don't be harsh with yourself. Treat each failure as a stepping stone toward evolution. As Lao Tzu said, "He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty." Mastery of control is a continuous journey, one of relentlessly seeking self-knowledge and developing the ability to govern yourself. It leads to a kind of power that doesn't dominate, but persuades, endures, and transforms. It is the art of living in harmony with yourself and the world, turning each moment into an opportunity to grow and evolve. This is the peak of silence, observation, restraint, and emptiness. The tools to master the art of living and become the author of your own fate. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If you found this message valuable, hit like and share it with someone you respect. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and stay ready, for the next video may be something hidden, revealed only at the right time. Wishing you peace and clarity on your path. See you soon. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.